Good morning and welcome to Southampton. So yes, probably a short video this morning as it's final day, day 3 or disembarkation day, however you want to see it. So yes, you can see that we have docked back at Southampton. I'll show you that. There we are. So yes, quick intro if you're new here. So my name's Chris and I post various travel videos, be that day trips, weekends away or longer. And I'm often with my dog Henry, and we do dog friendly adventures too. So dog Henry's not with us, but I shall be picking him up a bit later today, so we are driving back via the kennels. So and I'm going to pick him up and I'm sure he'll be very pleased to see me. So yes, so today it's so we are already at Southampton. It's 7 AM currently. Sun is shining, so that's lovely. And all we're doing today is we've got breakfast. I think it's in the Royal Court at 8 o'clock. Because we have the late dinner, we also get the later breakfast. So you get a breakfast booked in for you. They did say they're quite strict sometimes. We've got to be there by 8:15 so that we can make sure that we've had breakfast and are definitely off the ship by 8:45. And people looks like they're starting to get off. Or they're queuing downstairs. I had to just nip downstairs to get services because I got a notification this morning to say that my payment had failed. That's because I needed to put a little bit more money in my bank account. So anyway, just popped down to desk to get services and sorted that out, done the final payment. So I've already downloaded a PDF of all the transactions that have happened on the ship on my phone. And saved the PDF, so I've got a record of everything that we've spent while we've been on board. So yeah, this is it. It's the final day. So I will take you along and show you what I can, and then I will do a roundup at the end. So one thing to note that we didn't do is if you want your bag, your main bag, taken off the ship, and then you pick it up on the other side, then you have to put it outside with the luggage tags by 10 PM the night before. So we didn't do that, so we're taking them with us. You have to get out of the stateroom by 8, so we will be taking them with us down to breakfast, and then we'll take them off ourselves. So we've only got small wheelie bags, so it's not too much of a problem, but yeah, just something to note. Right, so it's now 7:45 and people are leaving, so hopefully you can see people walking down the gangways there on the way off the ship, wheeling all their stuff. So yeah, looks like quite a lot of people have wheeled their own bags off the ship. Saw some of the other bags being taken off earlier. So yeah, lots of action and noises and things happening out here at the cruise terminal. And then somewhere over there, in the distance there, is our car. So we should get off and go and pick up the car. And then we're driving to the kennels to pick up Henry. Right, so it's very busy down here. Disembarkation. Disembarkation is by luggage tag character. So we are heading, we've got Donald Duck, I think, so we're heading to Royal Court for our breakfast. So we're just over here. Right, so we're leaving our bags outside, as is everybody else, and heading in for breakfast in Royal Court, which is right here. Okay, thank you. We're around there. Thank you. We were over here, aren't we? This is good. Just here, I think. Yeah. Here we are. Sit the other side, shall I? Right, it's now time to leave the ship. It's a sad day.
Super massive mega.
Hello. Morning. Anywhere? This one? Thank you. So here's where you pick up your bags. You just have to follow the character and find your bags. Right, there we are. One last look at the ship. We are off. How was breakfast?
Good, really good.
Yeah.
Routine breakfast.
Nice
Yeah,
breakfast.
it was very nice breakfast. Really good trip, worth doing for the 3 nights.
Yeah, we have enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Don't want to get off.
loved
Could have done a few more days, but I think you'd be the size
And
of the
the
house.
sea has been flat calm the whole time. Seen dolphins, it's been beautiful.
Yeah, Celia
Really
needn't have worried
nice.
about the seasickness tablets and all the other
Anything.
things, because it's
No,
been
it's been
very
flat.
calm. Hardly tell you're on a boat unless you look out
Yeah.
the side. So, right, I'll do a bigger roundup when we're back at home. Yep. Right, so I'm back home now, absolutely exhausted after the trip, and yeah, a longish journey back. It's bank holiday Monday today, so the traffic was always going to be a bit clogged up and congested in places, but not too bad a trip home. So I just thought before I do a fuller roundup, I just wanted to do a little bit of a roundup today of the things that I bought and what I brought back from the fantasy. So yeah, we had a fantastic time, I have to say. I will go into detail, but I'm going to film that tomorrow, so I'll put that on at the end after this. So just thought I'd talk about some of the bits I brought back. So obviously I've got my hat here. That was from one of the shops in there. So it's a Disney Cruise Line. It has Cruise Line on the back as well. Disney Cruise Line, and that was $29.99. Actually, it included tax. They don't add on tax like they do in the States on the boat. I assume that's because we're in international waters. So that was $29.99, which ended up being £22.40 in pounds. So that was the only thing I bought. And then the other things, souvenirs, are just things that you pick up along the way. So I've got the bandana that we were given for a pirate night. So you get 2 per stateroom, or I suppose it's 1 per person, to help dress up a bit on pirate night. So that was good. So I've got that to take next time. I mean, I did notice some people had several, so people obviously go back and bring them back with them. I got my little cup holder that I made in the craft time. We saw lots of people with different crafts, particularly yesterday, where there was a lot of free craft activities going on. People made anchors, they made friendship bracelets, they made little signs out of lolly sticks. Yeah, so there's lots of little crafty things that you can go and do, usually in one of the bars or one of the lounges. So yes, I've got my Chamberlain Chris one, and my attempt at the which you would have seen me make on YouTube with a little logo on there as well, which I drew using the hat as inspiration. And then lastly, somebody said that you collect your luggage labels. So we got Donald Duck for our the Donald, yes, light blue Donald zone, for picking up your bag and for which departure group you are. So I've got a few of those because we didn't use them in the end because we took our own bags off, as you would have seen. So but yeah, apparently that's something that you keep as well. So I keep that as a little souvenir for next time. And then there was another souvenir from Pirate Night that we brought back as well. So those are our souvenir mugs of the cocktail. I can't tell you what cocktail it was. Celia went and got them, but this is the skull mug with the pirate Mickey on it, and they flash as well, so you can turn them on, and yeah, that's how it was. And then you can actually replace the battery on those, so we can keep those and use them again. So yeah, so that was another thing. I'm not sure how much it cost. I can probably have a look on the app, and I will do so. Tomorrow I'll film the next segment, which you'll see in a minute, and that will be just a full roundup of everything that we did and how much we spent and how much the whole cruise cost in the end as well. So I will hand over to future Chris, who will go through all of that shortly.
Well, hi, it's Chris from the future here. It's a couple of days later since we came back from our Disney Fantasy Cruise, and I thought I'd better give you a bit of a full review, and I'll also run through some of the costs involved in our trip. So as you would have seen, we had a fantastic time, and yeah, I think we enjoyed every minute of the cruise. Probably could have done with a little bit longer. 3 days is probably the minimum you want to do, because I think that's probably about the minimum they all do, because you want to experience all the 3 restaurants, all the 3 shows. So yeah, let's crack on. I've got a few notes on the side of me here, so I will be referring to those. Next up is all about the cabin. So I have to say that we weren't sure what to expect in terms of size, but I think it was bigger than I expected. There was a bit more room. Decent size, large bed. Not sure if it was king. I think it probably was. It was pretty decent sized double bed. And then there was another area which had the sofa and the which could turn into a bed, and then there was also a drop down bunk bed from the ceiling, which we didn't use, but is also available there. And obviously we had a veranda. There was a TV that could be angled to either room. One thing that was really handy for us, since we were brother and sister when we were in separate beds, so I had the sofa converted to a bed, and my sister had the double bed, but there was a curtain that you could pull between the two, so if you had kids in one side, they could go to bed earlier, and then but that room had the balcony on it as well, so you probably want to secure that. So in terms of the bathrooms, so there is a separate toilet. So as you go in, there's a toilet with a wash basin, and then there's a separate bathroom which had a tub in it, which we weren't expecting either, with a shower over. I mean, obviously a short one, but it had a bath, which I presume is quite good for if you've got small children, and it had a shower, and the shower power was great. I've never had such a good pressure of a shower in any hotel room I've ever been in. So yeah, that was really, really good. And obviously you had a sink in that room as well. The room was super clean, had everything that you needed. Yeah, they were, I say, the terms of the hygiene, it was absolutely top notch, and just the whole room was, there was no dinks, there was no dents, there was no, it was really, really, really nice. You have a stateroom host, so it's called a stateroom. You have a stateroom host who looks after you. So she introduced herself. We had Lois, and she introduced herself outside, and she looked after your room. And they clean it twice a day, or they come in twice a day. So it meant they made the bed for us every day. In the evening, left a towel animal with some chocolates, etc. from the turn down, and then when they redid it in the day, they turned the bed back into a sofa. So I was just really impressed with that because it just made it super convenient to use the room during the day. Okay, so moving on to the ship, we were on deck 8, midships. So you obviously have the forward and aft and then midships. I think midships was a good position to be because it was obviously not so far to go to either end where you've got the theatre or the bars or etc. and the restaurants. We were on deck 8. So that was kind of middle. I don't know where the kids clubs are because obviously we didn't worry about those. But you're not too far from deck 11, which is where you've got the pools and food and drink and the buffet. So 3 and 4 is where you've got all the sort of the main atrium, you've got the restaurants, and you've got the entertainment venues as well there. And then you've also got the adult kind of bar area at the other end. So, I mean, it took does take you a little while to work it out if you've not been on that ship before. One thing that was really useful was all the maps on the ship point in the right direction. So if you're not sure whether you need to be at the front or the back, then if you look at the map, it obviously you can tell whether you've got to go left or right to go to the front or the back of the ship. So that was, once I worked that out, that made life a lot easier. And obviously the maps tell you where everything is as well. So there's staircases. I think there's staircases front, back and middle, and obviously banks of lifts as well. But I mean the lifts do get quite busy, so it was quite handy not being too far from the other decks, being on deck 8. The adults area in general, there was there's an area on the pool deck which was dedicated to adults. It had its own pool, had hot tubs, had a bar, had a cafe, and it was over several levels as well. We didn't even get to explore all the levels there. Much bigger than expected, and really, really handy. A really, really nice sort of chill zone to be in. So really happy with that. I also did some running. So there's a running track on the deck. So on the deck on level 4, there's a track that goes around and there's an arrow to tell you which way to run. Saw a few other people running, not many. I did I don't know, goodness knows how many laps, did about sort of 4 or 5k round the ship. I think it was 2.5 laps was 1 mile is what it said on the signs. And you could go all the way around. So when you got to the far end, you kind of went in a little underground sort of undercover part, and then obviously down the sides of the boat. So that was that was good. Just to explain about the key card. So you've got a key to the world card. I've got mine here. Which each person gets with their own personalised name on it, and that's what you have to use everywhere to identify yourself. So getting on and off to the shore, and just anywhere where they needed to check who you were, make sure that you were allowed to be on the ship. You were one of the residents, and also you use this to pay for any alcoholic drinks that you're getting on board as well. So whether that's at dinner or from any of the bars, you use this. It identifies who you are, identifies your account, and then it charges it to the account. And every sort of drink area or any bar where you bought drinks, they automatically added 18% tip onto it. So that was automatically added, and then there was obviously the opportunity to add more tip on there as well if you wanted to, and other than that you just had to sign for that. So moving on to food and drink. Overall, I think we found the food quality was really good, considering their mass catering for thousands of people in 3 different restaurants and say a massive buffet. Generally, the food was really, really good and plenty of choice as well. So we were in, each dinner is allocated, so you get allocated which restaurant you're going to be in. And there are 2 sittings, so there's a 5:45 and there's an 8:15. So we were on the 8:15 because I think we got to choose that when we checked in online or when we booked. I figured that the 8:15 might be less children on the thing, and left the 5:45 for families to dine at. So yeah, so it's a bit late, I suppose, for some people, but to be honest, the dinner food, it's not massive portions, so it was quite nice. So you could have a big brunch and then maybe have a little snack and then have dinner, and it wasn't too heavy. You can order. I mean, it's basically a 4-course menu every night, and you can order multiple of any of the courses. So if you fancy 2 of the appetizers, or a soup and a salad, or anything like that, then you can order that. So yeah, so there was plenty of food. The waiter and waitress staff that you get on each of the restaurants, they stay with you for each time you dine, so they move from restaurant to restaurant with you. You're always on the same table, so we were with a group where there was 8 of us, eight sort of couples, eight groups of 2, who were on the same table, and you dine with the same people each night, unless they've booked somewhere else or they decide not to go, which happened a couple of times. The waiter was really good. He explained the menu. He ran through what his favourites were and what the most popular dishes were. And because I'm vegetarian, he also recommended what the vegetarian options were and what could be adapted to be vegetarian. So if there was a soup that had some sort of fish on topping, there was an asparagus soup where it had crab on top, but he said we could just do it without the crab for you. So there's plenty of options for vegetarians, and it was great that he explained that every night, because he knew that I was vegetarian. So that was cool. And once you've sort of ordered drinks, you can order alcoholic drinks, or you can just order soft drinks on your table. You get water, obviously, and they sort of learn what you like and they bring it. So I had a Diet Coke on the first night, and then every night they kept bringing a Diet Coke for me, that type of thing. So you didn't even have to ask. And as I mentioned, you use your card. While you're at the table, you use your card to pay for the alcohol. So entertainment, lastly. So obviously there's parties on the deck. So there's obviously the sail away party, and then our second night was pirate night. So they have a kind of a pirate party where all the characters are out. You've got Captain Hook, and you've got all the characters in their pirate outfits, and so singing along. So that's really good, and that's outdoors at the pool deck, and they cover over the pool, so there's plenty of room for everyone to see, and there's 2 levels as well, so you can see those shows. There was also a kind of a farewell show on the last night as well, which was in the main atrium inside. So that's just again the characters coming out and sort of saying goodbye. So that was lovely. The actual shows in the Walt Disney Theatre, which is the main live sort of theatre, were really, really great. They were proper West End quality shows. I mean, they're abridged versions, so they're shorter. They were about an hour and 15. And then there are 2 showings of those, so it makes sure that they coincide with the dinners. So if you're on a late dinner, you get the show first, and if you're on an early dinner, you watch the show afterwards. So we had Aladdin on the first night, and we had Frozen on the second night, and then we had a show called Disney Believe, which is kind of a compilation of characters from Disney, sort of formed into a storyline, which was really cool too. You didn't need to get there super early to get seats. We found it was really easy. We just used to come down the side and just get in a couple of seats in the stalls. And every seat had a good view, because it's quite a large theatre, but every seat had a good view, particularly as you were back a little bit, and there's a bit of a slope. So that was great. Then there was obviously the paid drinks tastings. So I did the mixology, I should say, course. It was an hour in a bar tasting cocktails, basically. The guy was really good. He explained everything about different types of cocktails, and they tried you different versions. So I think we had probably 5 cocktails in the end. You'll have to look at that in the video from that day. And then I was together with another group on a table, and we had great fun. Really nice group of people, and I was with someone who was on her own, sat next to me. So we got to, and we all met up in the bar the next night, or that night I think it was. You know, as a kind of a final farewell. We said, well, look, we're going to be in this bar at 10:30. Well, you know, come along and say hello. So yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, you do get to chat and meet people on these sorts of things, and I would have probably have liked to have done another one of those courses another day, because yeah, that was good fun, and it was nice to meet people. Excuse me. There was also lots of craft classes. There's quizzes, all sorts of things going on, and you have to use the app to find out where they are, what they're doing. They're all included. And then lastly, on the entertainment is the Aquaduck. So that's the water coaster that runs round the top of the ship. So it runs from funnel to funnel on both sides, which is great fun. And obviously that's included. You can go on that as much as you like. I did it on Saturday, which was the day when people were going ashore, because I figured it might be a little bit quieter. And you can go. It fits 2 people in a raft, and yeah, it's basically a fun little ride. You can fit 2 people, but also one person can ride on their own, because I wasn't sure about that. Also, I could keep my glasses on, which was also really handy, because I just prefer to be able to see what's going on those sorts of things. So yeah, it's a short ride around the trip, but it's around the ship. But you get good views because you're in a glass tube or in a transparent tube. So you get good views of around the ship. Right. So finally, on to costs. So the total cost of our cruise was £1,061.76 per person. You then have some taxes, fees and port expenses that are added on top of that, and that's £159.18. And then you can prepay your tips. Now, I explained this in one of the videos. I think the last day video. So you prepay those. You can prepay those on the app before you go. So that cost us £76, and then that goes towards your waiting staff and your stateroom host. So and they give you a sheet of paper with all that money divided up, and you put them into little envelopes. You can add a bit extra if you want. You've obviously got to do that in dollars, so you need to take dollars if you want to tip people extra in cash. So all very organised and all very easy, and you can just leave the envelope in your room, and the stateroom host picks it up, and you can hand it over to the waiting staff at the last dinner or the last breakfast. So that was that. So the total per person was 1,179 per person. It was like 2,358.70 total for both of us for the stateroom. Then other extras on top of that. So we had to pay for parking at the port of Southampton. So that was where I think it was called AB parking, the one recommended by Disney. And that cost £92 for the 3 nights that we were there. And then extras on top of that. So I did the cocktail making, which was $45. So that gets added to your bill as well, which worked out at about £34. And then, I mean, when you think of the cost of the drinks, I think £34 is not bad really for 5 cocktails, small cocktails, but 5 of them. And then just some general costs for drinks to give you as well. So I averaged out our bar bill for 2 drinks each time. So that would either be a beer or a spirit in a mixer or a cocktail. Obviously beers and wines I think were a little bit cheaper than cocktails, but they averaged about $31 for 2 drinks at any of the bars, and which is about £23. And then we only bought coffees once, because you obviously get free tea and coffee on the drink station. So they cost $12. So that's about £9 for 2 drinks, which is, it's on the high end, but it's not too bad for a latte, cappuccinos, that type of thing. Now, both of those included an 18% tip. So I'm including that in those prices. So the total spent on sort of cruise extras, including the cocktail making, was a total of $296, which is around £221 on top. So the last thing to tell you about is the placeholder. So you can actually put a down payment of $250, which is £186, on a future cruise while you're on board. You have to do it while you're on board. And but once you've got that hold, that lasts for 2 years, and then you get 10% off any cruise you book in the next 2 years, and obviously that money, it goes towards it as well. So we figured that was well worth doing, because if after the 2 years you haven't booked a cruise, you can get that money back as well. So it felt like it was well worth doing. So we did that. I did that as well. Okay, so I think that's all the costs covered there. So happy to take any questions in the comments that you've got on the cruise, and also if you like the set of videos that we've been doing, or you like this one particular, make sure you give them a like, because that promotes them to other people. Subscribe to my channel for more content. There will be, I'm sure there'll be some other videos coming up very soon. And then, and also any future cruise videos that we might do, or any future Disney adventures that we have. So, yes, so feel free to send any comments in you've got, and I shall answer those. But I hope you've enjoyed these videos, and I will see you again soon.